Hi there, I'm Rob from Harmony Entertainment. There's so many different guitar chords that you can play, each with their own different characteristics and sound. So what I thought I'd do today is make a very quick guitar lesson demonstrating some of these different tones and sounds that you can get out of all of these different chord variations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one chord, a D chord, and I'm going to show you 10 different ways to play a D chord to get 10 different sounds. And to make it more interesting and fun, I'm going to try and show you all of these chords in under 5 minutes. And I'm not going to go too deep into the theory side of things because I want this video to be pretty quick. So if you're interested in learning more about music theory, then definitely check out the links in the description below to find our music courses. So let's grab the guitar and take a look at 10 different ways to play a D chord. So here we go. As I said, I'm going to try and do this in under 5 minutes to keep the video pretty quick. So let's press start on a timer and get going. So the first chord obviously is going to be a D major chord, which is a nice happy sounding chord, a nice upbeat one. It's probably going to be one of the first chords that you learn on the guitar at first. We have a D major chord, which is 2nd fret on the high E, 3rd fret on the B string, and 2nd fret on the 3rd string, as well as the open D string. And we're just going to play just these 4 strings. We're not going to play all of them like this, just the 4 strings from the 4th string downwards. Just like that. So after D major, we're going to do the complete opposite, and we're going to do a D minor chord, which looks like this. So it's got a more sadder sound to it. And that's 1st finger on the 1st fret, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, as well as the open D string as well even. Like that, I'm going to play a D minor chord. So we have D major and D minor. Awesome sounding chords. They're probably the chords that you're going to play right at the start, the first D chords that you learn. So let's move on from there. Next we've got an even easier one, and we're going to play a D5 chord. So all a D5 chord is another name for a 5 chord, by the way, is a power chord, which you might have heard of. And we're going to play a 2-note chord, because a 5 chord is just a chord with 2 notes in it. We've got a root note, in this case D, which is going to be the open D string, excuse me, the open D string, and the 5 note, the 5th note up from D in the D scale, which is going to be the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. So just those 2 notes, so the open 4th string, which is a D note, and the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And that's going to give us our D5 chord, our D5 power chord. Just like that. Okay, let's move on for another one. We have a D sus2 chord. So play your D major chord, the one that you did at the beginning, and then get rid of your 2nd finger like that. Just take that off and play the same 4 strings, and you have a D sus2 chord. So that high E string now you are playing open. So this string is going to be in the chord still, but open, to give a really cool sound, a D sus2. So as well as sus2 chords, you also have sus4 chords. So we're going to play a D sus4. So again, go from your D major chord as your kind of default, and then put your little finger on the 3rd fret of the high E string, play the same 4 strings, and you get that sort of sound. So that's a D sus4. Sus is short for suspended. So we have a suspended 2nd and a suspended 4th, as well as major and minor and a 5. All those so far, quite a lot there. So let's move on again. Now take your D major chord as your reference again, and I want you to imagine a mirror going straight down the 2nd fret like that, and I want you to flip your D major chord horizontally. So instead of going 2, 3, 2, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, we're going to go 2nd fret, 1st fret, 2nd fret. I'm going to play the same 4 strings from the root note of D there, the open string, and that's going to give us a D7 chord, or a D dominant 7. Really cool sounding chord, really bluesy in my opinion. I like dominant 7s. But next let's move on to my favourite type of chord, which is minor 7s. So if we had our dominant 7th chord like that, all we want to do is get rid of our 3rd finger and flatten down our 1st finger so that it's playing both the 1st string and 2nd string. And again, play the same 4 strings. That's going to give us our minor 7 chord, D minor 7. So we have dominant 7 and minor 7. So after minor 7, we can move on to major 7. So all we're going to do is play the 2nd fret on the 1st string, 2nd string, and 3rd string. And again, the open 4th string like that, to give us a cool sounding chord, D major 7. And you can either bar it with your 1st finger, which means that you're playing all 3 notes with the same finger, or you can play 1 string per finger, like that. Either way, you're going to get a really cool sounding chord. Okay, let's move on again. I know we're doing this pretty quickly, but I'm trying to keep it quick. That way it's going to be, I don't know, we're going to get through them a little bit quicker and it's not going to drag on too long. So next, after the D major 7, let's look at a D major 6 chord, which is if we just take our middle finger off this D major 7, our second finger in this case, just take it off and play that string open, and that's going to give us a D major 6 chord. Also, pretty cool sounding chord, pretty interesting. Nice variation on playing a normal D major chord. You've got a D major 6. And lastly, let's try a minor 6. And as I said that, it just crossed 5 minutes. So we pretty much got there. So D minor 6, I'll very quickly explain that one. It's basically the same thing as the major 6, but instead of playing the 2nd fret on the high E, we're going to play the 1st fret on the high E to give us that sort of cool sounding chord. Sounds a bit more jazzy. So there you go, there is 10 different ways to play a D chord. So let's recap those very quickly. We've got a D major, a D minor, a D5, a D sus2, a D sus4, a D7, a D minor 7, a D major 7, a D6, and a D minor 6. 10 different ways to play a D chord, and you can hear all the different sounds that you can get from playing these different versions. So if you're bored of playing the same chords, let's just say you only know D major and D minor, then you can use this video hopefully to help you play some different variations to get some different sounds and make your playing a lot more interesting. So check those out, give them a try, and good luck with them.